Unbroken is a very personal family story. It is about 7 Jewish siblings who were hidden for 2 years outside of Berlin during World War II. And the youngest of the 7 is my mom. So it's a story that I've always known my entire life, but have never really known anything about. The details were missing. My mom was 6 years old when she came to this country, which is the same age I was when I actually learned that she was adopted and had another family. And I asked her, I said, "Mom, when do I get to meet all your other siblings?" She had 6 of them. And she said, "You will never meet them." So I think as a 6-year-old, as a child, when somebody tells you no, you kind of want it more than even if they had said yes. And I had this nagging curiosity in my mind ever since I was 6 years old to really understand my family's history and the legacy of our family. And I think it comes for me from a deep sense of gratitude that I'm alive. I mean, had it not been for righteous Gentiles all along the way who took care of my mom and her siblings and gave them safe haven, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. As a director, I have a very specific point of view about their story, of course, and what I want to give everyone in the audience an opportunity to experience is this idea that one single action can have a ripple effect that reverberates for generations to come. So it was my responsibility to make sure that I get to bring you along on the journey and that I give you a chance to really kind of exercise the muscles of empathy and compassion so that perhaps you might do something that helps another family and their family's generations, for years and years to come. Each of us has the ability to make a difference in somebody else's life. I think we get overwhelmed with everything in the world today. Our world right now in particular is just kind of upside down and turned inside out. And we get this sense of overwhelm, like, well, I'm not going to make a difference, so people don't do anything. And that's actually, in terms of the human race, that's not okay. We've had the privilege to be born. Here we are. And so let's make the most of our time here on this planet, and let's take actions that aren't just about ourselves and help our fellow man so that we can evolve as a species. I mean, there's no question that film festivals are the heartbeat of independent filmmaking. Film festivals are where people hear about things that are coming out. You can talk to the filmmakers can talk to the community in a way that doesn't happen outside of the festivals with any kind of frequency. And so when people like Brian Gordon are creating a festival like Sarasota Film Festival, it is an honor and a privilege, first of all, to be included and invited. And it's also just something that I feel gives me a chance to meet other filmmakers, learn about their journeys, and see all the other films that are out right now. And I think it's so interesting to find out when your story is coming out into the world before we have our theatrical release, before we stream on a platform. What's the context? Who else is putting their stories out there right now? And what I love about that is yesterday, or for the past 4 days, I've been at the Annapolis International Film Festival. And they paired, the programmers, Derek Horn, paired me with a short film that won the challenge the previous year, and part of their win is that they get to present it a year later. And their film is something called You Will Not Replace Us. And it is an extraordinary short film that also won the Audience Award last night, by the way. These terrific filmmakers, Josh Green and Luke Harris, young guys, and they've made this film that is a perfect companion piece to our film. Unbroken does not go into politics. Unbroken does not go into any current events. And their film is all current events. It's all political. And yet we both have exactly the same message. So it's a great companion piece. And so that's what's really fun about film festivals, I think. So we had a world premiere at Heartland, and we won. We won Best Documentary Feature Premiere So, first time, directorial debut, world premiere, then you win an award. It's like, what can be better than that? Then we went to Newport Beach, Doc NYC. We had sold out screenings at Doc NYC. And then we went to Miami Jewish. Yesterday in Annapolis, we also were screened in Miami, but I couldn't be in two places at once. We've been to Boulder, we've been to Sonoma, and we still have like 10 more that we're going to this whole week. So it's a very fun journey. You know what? The next job is one that I'm hired for. It's the one that I don't have to do all the fundraising for. It's the one that I think, I'd love to do a rom-com, man. Like after doing such a deep and heavy film, even though our film is not your average Holocaust documentary, it's not what you expect. You will literally be laughing within the first 3 minutes. But I think a rom-com is in my future. And also, we have so much more to do with Unbroken. I mean, I have a year of speaking engagements that, are coming down the pike, and museum exhibitions, and writing a book that it's all companion piece, and really getting it out there for the educational piece so that we can bring our story and really the conversation to educational institutions, houses of worship, and museums all over the world.
So No One Asked You is a abortion road trip comedy documentary. A lot of things, but it follows a group, Abortion Access Front, and their fearless leader, Liz Winstead, who co-created The Daily Show, as they travel around the country supporting independent abortion clinics, using comedy to fight against anti-abortion extremists and really support clinics and support abortion access. So I'm a producer of the film, and I got involved back in 2018, and because I was working on a short film also about abortion access at the time, and started just by trying to help out in any way I could, and now it's 5-6 years later, and we're trying to get this film out in the world. So yeah. I came on a little bit after the team was assembled, but director Ruth Lightman has been working on this film since late 2016, early 2017. So she was really instrumental in kind of bringing together the various producers, getting kind of this ball rolling. And I worked a lot with the editorial team, kind of pulling the edit together, but it really was one of those films that was a huge team effort to get it to the finish line. We premiered at Doc NYC in November, and now we're just in the throes of festivals and trying to release the film. So we're getting really overwhelmingly positive reactions to the film, which is great. People come away, I mean, because the film is about such a tough topic, abortion access, people can be really emotional, and it can be, but it can also be very invigorating. I mean, we have the comedy aspect, which is a great way to get people energized too, because I don't know, we all have a lot of activism fatigue right now. The world is a hard place to live in. So if we can laugh a little bit and learn how to fight for our bodily autonomy, then we can kind of walk away from this film feeling energized, ready to hit the ground running and go to work. Film festivals are incredibly important to both how I feel like our film specifically is working to find its audience out in the world, connect with people in various areas. I mean, specifically coming to Florida was really important to us considering the access landscape here. But I think film festivals are just a fantastic way to meet people, meet other filmmakers, start growing our networks as filmmakers, and then also find our audience, connect with people that are interested in the film, and then use that as we kind of continue the release of the film. And they're just a lot of fun to come to. So we're really excited to be here. So as the producer, as one of the producers of this film, we're really navigating kind of what the documentary landscape looks like right now, with who's buying films, what like theatrical releases look like, and then also impact and engagement for this film is a huge thing because we're in an election year. So we're working a lot to kind of balance all these things, put on a lot of big screenings in the fall that support states where there's abortions on the ballot across the country. There are key races leading up to the election, and also to support organizations that need some love, care, and comedy. So really that's kind of the heart of our release of the film, and then we'll hopefully be doing a theatrical campaign and some other exciting things, and then hopefully see where it goes in the world after that. I really want people to take away or come away from the film seeing how that they can get involved in the fight for abortion access and the fight for bodily autonomy and feel energized and ready to take those steps to get involved. Because I think in a world where we are inundated with all the things that we need to help with all the time, it can feel very overwhelming. And we hope to use comedy in this film to kind of put people at ease, use some levity to like let people relax a little bit, and then see the very specific ways that they can get involved. So I hope people leave the screening going like, great, that's how I can plug in, that's how I can use my skills, let's go do it. Yeah, I have a couple feature documentaries that I'm working on as well that are in kind of mid-production, post-production, a film about a K-pop dance crew in Madison, Wisconsin. It's one that I've been working on for a while, and then a film that kind of meditates on friendship and the role of friendships in our lives, and how they can be as nurturing as family sometimes. So, but I also feel like I'll be probably working on the release of this film for a long time. There's probably a long impact campaign that'll be coming for the next couple years or so. So yeah, we're just at the beginning stages of what No One Asked You will do. So.
So as the producer, Will sat down with me and told me his vision. It was actually our junior project at Ringling, and we wanted to make something that we could do in 2 days and also shoot on location. And Will came with the script and chose me as his producer, and I pretty much got all the ideas and everything gathered from all our crew members and put it all together.
Honestly, the truthfulness of everything, the truthfulness, the history, what I've known from my history, what I've been taught from my parents, what my dad taught me. That's the whole reason I made the film, was for my pops. He loved it. He loved it. He had no idea. I kept it away from him for a while. But so my dad is from Haiti. He was born and raised in Haiti. So he's not too much into the culture of, being American. And he's a little bit older. We moved here when he was a little bit older. But that's why I love film. You are able to explain things in visuals that you are not able to explain in words sometimes. And I think just getting him to sit down in front of a screen to just watch this film for about 8 minutes told him everything I wanted to say without using any of my words. We shot this in 2 days out in Mayeka. But when you have a year of planning before you getting to set is probably the easiest part. If you plan right, it should be easy as cake.
So the first thing was it was a period piece. So the biggest thing was getting the costumes and the car and everything. And the car Will actually discovered on the side of the road. He's found a car he liked, talked to the owner, we got the car. And then the costumes were from the West Coast Theater. They helped pretty much get costumes for the whole set and everything. And then the last was going on Amazon and finding all the odds and ends and pretty much going with the cinematographer, going over the shot list the night before, or probably the week before and the night before, and then just getting everything in order so we can have a smooth day, because we only had 2 days and 12 hours and we had to make it count.
And I'd like to pass the mic over to Johnny Barker, who was our composer on the film. And when it comes to post, music is almost everything. So I'm gonna just pass the mic off to Johnny.
Awesome. How you doing there? Well, for me, with this being a period piece, the most important part was making sure the sound and the feel fit the year and period of the film, especially when it came to sound design. So we went over a couple of different ideas, and we decided to go with the Mississippi Delta blues feel, slide guitar, I had a very good friend of mine, Mr. Brad Fouch, who kind of came in very, very importantly with that and added his flavor to the film. So I want to thank Will especially for reaching out to me and making this happen. So
From the story itself, I don't just stop hiding our history. There's been a lot of school and institutions where I hear that history, especially in the African American culture, is being, disbombarded. They're just canceling, not teaching it overall. I don't like that. That's one of the reasons why the film was made as well. And another thing is, as a film student, anything that you've been through, no matter how small you think it is, whether it's between you and a friend, you and a family member, no matter how small you think it is, if you're a filmmaker, go ahead and tell your story. A lot more people might be able to relate to it than you can think.
I just want them to take away the story, and that's Sarasota that we're kind of filming, and that's Sarasota's past.
I was just going to reiterate what Will said. I mean, you can't keep hiding history. This is something that a lot of people are ignorant of, and it needs to be brought to light. So.
So first of all, Liam Jordan, the director of the film, couldn't be here tonight, but it was me and him. He grew up in town skating with me and my brother, went to Ringling College. We found out my brother was going to the Olympics on another job, and I was like, hey, we have a bunch of archive. Let's make a story about my brother. So we spent 18 months during the pandemic following Jake, and then took it to the post room. And it was a bit of a challenge with the protocols and whatnot during the pandemic. But yeah, I got my first camera when I was 8 from my grandmother. So I had all this footage, from 8 until present time. I was like, we should do something with it because it may never see the light of day. And then we, like I said, followed him for 18 months and ended up weaving this story together. So it was a fun process, and I wish Liam could be here as well.
Yeah, so in that 18 months time frame, they captured my going pro moment, like when I got turned into a professional skateboarder here locally at the Riverwalk Skate Park. We did interviews along the way, went all across America, middle of America to Des Moines, went out to California, did some street skating, did some training, went to Rome. We went all over the place with it. Just followed me around, followed my story, followed the skating, and ended up turning into a pretty great film. So for the skating side of the film, I wanted to show the competition side of skateboarding. I wanted to show the street skating side of skateboarding, because skateboarding's like a free-form thing. You can do it however you want. And my two paths are street skating, like filming in the core, like doing street skating, going to street spots, hitting rails, stairs, ledges, all that stuff, like filming video parts. I wanted to show that part of my skate world, and I also wanted to show the contest side of things, like the Olympic journey. Yeah, so back in 2019, I got the call from Mark Waters. He called me to go down to this qualifier in Brazil. It was a Street League Global Open contest, and depending on how you did in that, determined whether or not you made the 2019 season. So I skated well enough in the beginning of 2019 to make the season, and I kind of just started from the bottom of the totem pole and climbed my way up to the top and made it all the way to the Olympics. So it was a pretty wild ride, and super fortunate to be able to make the first round of skaters for the Olympics.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted this story to be for every audience. So you guys will see in a little bit, the way we told the story is skateboarders can relate to it, but also people like our grandparents that may not know a lot about skating. So the film resonates to all audiences. We wanted normal skateboarders to be able to watch the film, but also our grandparents and relatives, and be able to understand it across the board. So the way the story's told is just from a very minimalistic perspective, but also while following the skater. And we just wanted people to know that you can do anything you put your mind to.
I'd say the one thing I want the audience to take away from this is dream big. If you put your mind to anything, you can do whatever you want. Me and Nate are from Osprey, Florida, small little town here in Sarasota, and yeah, we both had big dreams, and we worked hard every day, and we ended up making those dreams happen, and we're living it right now. if you go down to any park, there's a basketball court, most likely, a tennis court, a playground, maybe a football field, maybe a soccer field. And those are all free and open and accessible to the public. And I don't see why skateboarding and all the other sports that go on within the skate park realm shouldn't be free as well. And it's like when you have a fee to get into a park, that's going to limit some kids. Like some kids might not be able to afford $5 each time to get in, or some kids might not be able to like go skate down the street and they want to go skate at the skate park because they feel safer there. So we were determined to keep the park open and keep it fixed up because the community, it's for everyone.
I think after we were finally done shooting after 18 months, we had 90 hours of footage. So I mean, the film's 89 minutes, so it's a lot of stuff to go through. We went externally. We hired an editor, Rick Ives, based out of Atlanta, and he worked alongside Liam Jordan. And myself to basically, we had an outline and a rough cut, and we were like, hey, for the first 2 weeks, can you go through this footage following this outline, and then we will start from there. It was good hiring an editor that didn't really understand skateboarding, so that way we could tell it like a fresh perspective, not just telling it like a skateboarder, if that makes sense. At first, it was a little challenging. Jake really didn't like the camera in his face, but then, 6 months into it, he was like, where's my mic? Where's the camera? So it just took some time to get used to, but it was well worth the battle for sure.
Yeah, like he said, I didn't really want to have the camera on me 24/7 or put the mic on. And then once I just got used to it, I was like, where's the camera? Where's the mic? And it just, I don't know. I really love filming with my brother and was super happy that we got to make this together.
And then, yeah, just to add one thing, I got my first camera when I was 8 from my grandma, and just to make a full circle moment, it's amazing. So I hope everyone enjoys the film tonight. Like I kind of said earlier, I know it's repetitive, but just dream big, and anything you want to do in life, you can do if you put your mind to it. Me and Jake grew up with our grandmother in Osprey, Florida. She did the best she could with what she had, and without her, I don't think we would really be in the position we're in today. She bought us our first skateboards and me my first camera, and we kind of just stuck with it. So I think we owe a lot to our grandmother. So just also always remember to just take care of your family.
Yeah, like my brother said, dream big, work hard, grind at it every day. Like Nate said, we wouldn't be here without our grandma. We wouldn't be here without the support of our friends, family, and the whole community. So we owe a lot to everyone, and we're just super thankful for all the support we've had over the years, and it's been great.
I want to hear what everyone has to say about the film, but I own a production company, so I do a lot of work with NBA Entertainment, so I'm going home to work on some other projects. I'm currently living in Manhattan, but I'm back and forth between Sarasota and New York.
So next for me, I got 2 qualifiers left for the Olympics for Paris 2024. I got to go to Shanghai next month and Budapest right after that. So I got 2 stops left to go, and I'm behind the pack right now for the points, so I got to catch up. So my next goal is to make it to 2024 Olympics. That's what's next for me. And then just growing the skate scene in Sarasota. So yeah.